Hi there, Susan Clare in my studio in Jamaica, and today I'm talking about the differences in art media types, and this is part 2 where I'm going to dive into prints and reproductions and the different choices that you have available to you on my website, susanclarefineart.com. These terms and terminology will help you across the board whether you're buying from me or anyone else. So we already talked about the difference between originals and reproductions. So originals, there's only ever one. It's the one I put my hand on with the paint, no matter which surface it's painted onto. So reproductions now are going to be 2 levels. There are limited edition prints and there are open edition prints. I don't have many limited edition prints on offer on my site, but there are a few. And these are things that I really feel there are only ever going to be a very few of. So the amount will be limited to, it will tell you what the print run is, whether it's 1 to 25 or 1 to 10, sometimes 1 to 5. Something that will be limited. When those 25 are sold out, there will be no more. So those are limited and therefore collectible, and they have a slightly higher price than the regular prints. Now the price of prints varies from around $30 to $50, going up into a few hundred, depending on size. You can choose a size and what surface you choose to have your print created on. And that's what I wanted to clarify today. One of my customers said they'd been trying to make some choices and it was just too confusing. So I'm hoping to add a little clarity into that situation today. So the first thing that you've probably come across is the idea of print on paper. So this is a print of a painting that I originally did with acrylics on canvas, but it's printed onto watercolour paper, and you can see that it has really great quality, good reproduction in the colours. It's got a surface of plastic over it, so that's where the reflections are coming from. But you can see that the quality is there, and then it has a mount put around it so it's ready to pop into a frame. These are really easy and reasonably priced to ship. And because it's watercolour paper, the quality will be excellent. So that's one kind of print, and that's probably the one that you're most familiar with. All you have to do when you go on the site is choose if you choose watercolour paper, you then just choose the size you want. After that, you can choose to frame it. We offer frames on the site as well, but if you're looking to just ship something over a distance, you probably want to frame it locally to you to save on shipping costs. Another economic way of doing large area prints is to choose this glossy photo paper, which is slightly less expensive. It has this great glossy surface which looks very modern. This is an underwater creature that I've painted called Feather Duster Worm, and this type of reproduction is very lightweight. It comes with this foam core backing and a self-hanger mechanism, so very easy to put straight up on the wall if you have a lot of office space to cover or corridor areas and you wanted a set of similar looking prints to liven up the space. Another option is the wood print. Now, wood print is quite heavy, so I wouldn't recommend it for shipping long distances if you want a large print, but it is quite a lovely surface. There are options available that I've already narrowed down for you. For instance, some people offer a wood print that's printed straight onto the colour of the wood as a transparency, so that you would see the wood grain colour interfering with the colour of the painting. And I don't particularly like that, so I've chosen it to have a white surface on the block of wood, and then it's printed onto the surface of the block of wood with a sort of satin sheen. So you can see there's no great reflection there, and that helps you to see the details. And I think it also gives it a nice rustic look that goes with the self-hanger. So you don't have to frame these, you can plop them straight on the wall. It has a keyhole type arrangement for you to slot onto a nail. So that's called a wood print. The next type is something that's very sleek and modern and very trendy at the moment, is a metal print. So this And this one, as you can see, are the same image because it's an open edition image of my elephants, and they're printed onto two different print media. This one's a metal print, this one's called an acrylic block print. So it's very confusing when you get onto acrylics. We'll go there in a minute. Let's stick with the metal print to start with. So can you see it has a sort of a satiny surface? That's also, some of the choices have been narrowed down by me because I like the satin surface. That's the one I'm offering. And also that you don't see the shine of the metal showing right through the image. It is shiny metal on the back. You've got a self hanger and the way to hang it up with this little grooved hanger option there. And these can be framed, hung on the wall without a frame, or you can choose to frame them. There's another example here, just to give you an idea of the different colours. Colours come out true and gorgeous. And even the texture that was in the original of this mixed media painting on canvas has been transferred there into the print. You can see the 3D image of it, although it's not actually sticking out from the surface as it would be in the original. Again, we've got a self hanger and the way to hang it up at the back there. Sleek and modern. So moving on, a while ago I mentioned that we have two prints here on the same image, different surfaces. So this one now, the shiny one, very glossy, is what we call an acrylic print. So what's actually happened here is nothing to do with acrylic paints. It's a block of clear acrylic has been used as a surface, and then the print is put on behind the block, so it's like it has its own glass attached. It's not glass, it's acrylic, so it won't break like glass. We have this lovely glossy surface look to it, which can be quite sleek and attractive. Same way, you have a self hanger so that it mounts out from the wall and gives it a nice little drop shadow. And again, you have this keyhole type arrangement to pop it onto a nail, make it easy to hang. And of course, these again, you can choose other mounting systems. There's some where you have the little posts that go through the block of acrylic. That looks really sleek and modern. There's also another option where you can, instead of just choosing the 1/8 acrylic, you can actually make it into a 1/4 inch deep by adding a dye bond backing. So that's an optional extra. These look really great, I think, for little prints. They get a bit pricey if you're going way up into the larger sizes, but they are, I just want to have a whole collection of my underwater creatures on the wall in those little prints. And finally, we have a canvas print. And this one is probably my favourite because it's just unbelievable the quality that these guys have managed to produce. You see every brushwork, every little nuance in the surface. This was a painting that was originally an acrylic paint on canvas original. It was larger than this, but you can see every brushstroke or the texture in the brushwork, the lovely subtle nuances in the colour range all came out beautifully. This one also has the hanger installed on the back. Sorry about the messy bit there. And in addition, they give you these lovely soft pads to make sure it's not going to mess up your wall. On the sides, it's a nice deep frame, deep box on the canvas. So you don't actually have to go to the expense of framing it. If you don't want to, it will look great on the wall, just hanging on the wall by the hanging cord. Okay, and again, you can choose your size from the options there on the canvas section. Now, just in case you didn't know, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. If you do go to my website, susanclairefineart.com, when you get to the screen where you've chosen your image, it gives you lots of options beneath to choose the media type. So it'll start off with watercolour paper, glossy paper, metal, wood prints and canvas. Now when you go into those, there may be a few more options for you to choose from. If you're at all confused by any of that, just hover your mouse or your pointer over the media type and a little box will pop up with a diagram or an explanation about what it is that's being offered. And another way that you can be really sure that you've got what you want is when you've selected your size and your media types, you can then go, before you go to checkout, just look for the 360-degree tool underneath the main image. When you click that, you'll get a revolving image of the options you've chosen revolving round so that you can see it from all sides and you can make sure that it's got the right hanging hardware that you thought, the backing is what you thought, and so on. And you can be really sure. And of course, if you're still unsure, just drop me a line through social media or through my website, and I'm really happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and clarify anything that's still confusing. Okay, thanks very much for watching and enjoy browsing through my art. Take care.